Authoritative Discourse. The origin of the soul is from above. In heaven, in him, anyone appears. The hidden heavens appear. And before the invisible, ineffable worlds became visible. From these came the invisible soul of righteousness, one member with them, one body with them, one spirit with them. Whether she is coming down or is in the realm of fullness, she is not apart from them, but they see her, and she looks at them through the invisible word. The word is like food and medicine for the soul. Secretly, her bridegroom obtained the word. He held it to her mouth to make her eat it like food. He applied it to her eyes like medicine to make her see with her mind and perceive those who are kin to her and learn about her root, that she may be able to hold on to the branch from which she has come from, receive what is hers, and renounce matter. The soul is like a child among stepchildren. When a man marries a woman who already has children, the natural children of the man conceived from his semen, called the children of the woman our siblings. Similarly, when the spiritual soul was cast into a body, it became a sibling to lust, hatred, and envy, that is, to material souls. So the body came from lust, and lust came from material substance. That is why the soul became a sibling to them. Yet they are stepchildren, unable to inherit from the male, but they will inherit from their mother alone. When the soul wishes to inherit along with the stepchildren, for the possessions of the stepchildren are exalted passions, life's pleasures, hateful jealousies, boastful expressions, foolish experiences, reproachful words. If a soul who is ignorant chooses a spirit of prostitution, he casts her out and throws her into a brothel. He has left her to corruption because she has abandoned modesty. Death and life are placed before everyone, and people choose for themselves which of these two they want. That soul will fall into drinking too much wine in a corrupt matter. Wine corrupts. The soul forgets her siblings and her father, and sensual pleasures and sweet things deceive her. She has abandoned knowledge and has fallen into the life of an animal. The person devoid of sense lives like a beast, not knowing what one should say or should not say. The gentle child inherits with joy from the father, and the father rejoices over his child, because everyone praises the father on account of the child, and the child also looks for a way to duplicate what was received. The stepchildren, their lusts cannot mix with sobriety. If a lustful thought arises in a person who is a virgin, that person already has become contaminated. This sort of appetite cannot mix with moderation. This is like wheat mixed with chaff. For if chaff is mixed with wheat, it is not the chaff that is contaminated, but the wheat. Since they are mixed together, no one will buy the contaminated wheat. They will coax the dealer and say, "Give us this chaff," for they see the wheat mixed with it. Then they will take the chaff and throw it out with the rest of the chaff, and that chaff will become mixed with all other material stuff. Pure seed is kept in storehouses that are secure. We now have discussed all these things. The Father establishes a contest in the world. Before everything was, the Father alone existed. Before the worlds in the heavens appeared, or the world on earth, or principalities, or authorities, or powers appeared, and they produced others. Nothing came to be without the Father's will. The Father wished to reveal his wealth and his glory, and so he established a great contest in this world. He wanted to make the contestants come up and leave behind what is of the created world and despise these things with exalted, incomprehensible knowledge and run to the one who is. We are to be triumphant over the ignorance of those who contend with us, the adversaries who contend against us through our knowledge. For we already have known the inscrutable one from whom we have come. We have nothing in this world, or else the world's authority that came to be might hold us back in the worlds of the heavens, where death is universal, surrounded by individual. We withdraw from the world. The powers of the world who oppose us. We now have been put to shame in the worlds, but we are not interested in them when they speak ill of us. We ignore them when they curse us. We stare at them in silence when they treat us shamefully, directly to our face. They go about their business, and we go about in hunger and thirst, looking to our dwelling place, which we perceive through our lifestyle and our conscience. We do not hang on to created things, but we withdraw from them. Our hearts are set on what truly is. And although we are sick, weak, and in pain, there is great strength hidden within us. The world heals the soul's blindness. Our soul is sick because she lives in a house of poverty, and matter strikes her eyes in order to blind her. For this reason, the soul pursues the word and applies it to her eyes as medicine. And she opens her eyes and casts off blindness. Thoughts of blindness. After that, if such a one is in ignorance once again, that one is in complete darkness and is a material being. That is why the soul always takes a word and applies it to her eyes as medicine, so that she may be able to see. Then her light may overwhelm the foes that oppose her, and she may blind them with her light, capture them in her presence, make them collapse in exhaustion, and act boldly with her strength and her scepter. The soul finds shelter in her treasure house. While her enemies look at her in shame, she flees up to her treasure house, where her mind is, and to her storehouse, which is secure. No one in creation has been able to grasp her, and she has taken no stranger into her house. Many of those born in her house oppose her day and night, and they do not rest day or night, for their lust oppresses them. We are like fish that may be caught in nets. This is why we do not fall asleep and forget about the nets hidden from view that are lying in place to catch us. For if we are caught in a single net, it will swallow us down within it, and water will wash over us and splash into our faces, and we shall be pulled down into the dragnet. We shall not be able to come up from the deep, because the water is high above us, flowing down from above, making our hearts sink down in filthy mud. We shall not be able to get away from them. We shall be consumed by man-eaters. Man-eaters will grab us and consume us, and they will enjoy themselves like a fisherman who is casting a hook and line into the water. For a fisherman casts different kinds of bait into the water, because each kind of fish has his own food. The fish smells the food and swims after the fragrance of the food. But when it bites into the bait, the hook hidden within snares it and draws it up by force from the deep water. Nobody can catch that fish down in the deep water unless a fisherman finds a way to trap it. By tricking the fish with food, the fisherman has caught the fish on the hook. The adversary tries to poison us with the food of this world. We live like this in the world, like fish. The adversary is on the lookout for us and is lying in wait for us, like a fisherman, to catch us. The adversary is delighted to consume us. He dangles many kinds of food before our eyes, the stuff of this world, because he hopes to make us desire just one kind of food and to taste only a little of it, that he then may catch us with his hidden poison and take us from freedom into slavery. For when he catches us with a single kind of food, we cannot help but desire the rest of the food. In the end, such things become the food of death. The devil lies in wait with food. These are the kinds of food with which the devil lies in wait for us. First, he plants pain in your heart so that you feel heartache over something trivial in this life. And he catches us with his poisons. After that, he introduces the desires for an article of clothing so that you will be proud of it. And then love of money, pride, vanity, envy rivaling envy, beauty of body, and covetousness. The worst of all these are ignorance and laziness. All such kinds of food the adversary prepares in an attractive way and spreads it out before the body. The adversary wants to make the thought of the soul turn the soul to some kind of food, and thus he hopes to overwhelm her. As with a hook, he draws the soul by force in ignorance and deceives her until she conceives evil and bears fruit of matter and behaves badly, pursuing many desires and cravings, seduced in ignorance by the pleasure of the flesh. The soul finally eats the food of life. The soul who has tasted these things has come to realize that sweet passions are fleeting, She has learned about evil, has forsaken these passions, and has adopted a new lifestyle. After her experiences, the soul disdains this life because it lasts only for a time. She seeks the kind of food that will bring her life, and she leaves behind the food of falsehood. She learns about the light, and she goes about and strips off this world. Her true garment clothes her within, and her bridal gown reveals beauty of mind rather than pride of flesh. She learns about the depth of her being. She runs into her sheepfold as her shepherd stands at the door. In return for all the shame and scorn she experienced in this world, she receives 10,000 times as much grace and glory. The soul has a true shepherd. The soul returned the body to those who had given it to her. They were ashamed, and those who deal in bodies sat down and wept because they could not do their business with that body, and that was the only commodity they had. They had gone to great pains to shape the body for the soul, and they had intended to bring down the invisible soul. Now they were ashamed of what they had done, for they lost what they had worked hard to accomplish. They did not realize that the soul has an invisible spiritual body, but they thought, we are her shepherd and we feed her. They did not realize that she knows another way hidden from them. This is what her true shepherd taught her in knowledge. The ignorant are more wicked than pagans. Those, however, who are ignorant do not seek God, and they do not look for their dwelling place, which is a place of rest, but instead they live like animals. They are more wicked than pagans. To begin with, they do not inquire about God. Their hard-heartedness drags them down so that they act in a cruel manner. Then, if they find someone asking about salvation, in their hardness of heart, they work on that person. If the person keeps on asking, they will kill him with their cruelty, and they think they have done something good for themselves. Without a doubt, they are children of the devil. Even pagans give to charity, and they know that God, who is in the heaven, exists. The Father of the universe, exalted over the idols they worship, although they have not heard the word, so as to inquire about the ways of God. The mindless person hears the call, but is ignorant of the place to which he or she has been called. He has not asked during the preaching, where is the temple into which I should go and worship my hope? Such a person is mindless and worse than a pagan. For pagans know the way to their temples of stone, which will perish, and they worship their idol with their hearts set upon it, because this is their hope. The word has been preached to this mindless person, and it has taught him, seek and inquire about the ways you should go, for there is nothing as important as this. So the substance of the hardness of heart strikes the person's mind, and with the force of ignorance and the demon of error. And these things prevent the person's mind from recovering and being capable of working at seeking and understanding hope. The rational soul learns about God and comes to rest. The rational soul, on the other hand, has worked at seeking, and she has learned about God. She has struggled to inquire, enduring bodily distress, wearing out her feet after the preachers, and learning about the inscrutable one. She has found her rising. She has come to rest in the one who is at rest. She has reclined in the bridal chamber. She has eaten of the banquet for which she has hungered. She has partaken of immortal food. She has found what she has sought. She has received rest from her labors. And the light shining on her does not set. To the light belongs the glory and the power and the revelation forever and ever. Amen. Authoritative Discourse.